Hey YouTube, this is Rescue Part 62. Today's video is going to be on my personal thoughts on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, I'm calling it a pay-per-view. I'm not calling it the premium live event, but I'm gonna go match by match. So let's get started. First off is Roman versus Seth. Now, I know you've probably seen a lot about the DQ finish, but honestly, that is one that makes sense just because they both of them know each other so well from their time in the Shield to NXT to whatever that they know each other's finishes. And I like the post match angle where Roman was beating the crap out of Seth with a chair. That to me makes a lot of sense just because you're frustrated that you didn't take him out. Um, and you thought with the guillotine you would take him out. Honestly, that didn't happen. So I honestly do see Seth still having a feud with Roman in some way going into WrestleMania because we're like 60, I think it's like 59 or 60 days away from WrestleMania at this point. So I do see something like that. Um, Now with the Women's Rumble, um, now I agree with a lot of the stuff that went in the Women's Rumble. Now, although I would have liked to have some surprises in the Rumble, besides people like Melina, Kelly, uh, stuff like that. I also would have liked to see some of the NXT women in the Rumble to represent NXT. Also, maybe somebody like Asuka, Bailey, Alexa Bliss, somebody like that who's been out for a significant amount of time. If you don't know, Alexa's been out since late September. Um, Bailey's been out since late July. Asuka's been out in that area. So they are missing some star power in that sense. Now, Alexa has been drafted to Raw, so she's expected on Raw soon. As of this recording, both Bailey and Asuka have not been drafted to either Raw or SmackDown, so it's hard to say where they're going to go. You just have to wait and see when that time comes. Now, I am glad Charlotte did not win, but my issue is, first of all, of her being in the match, where you could have had somebody else take her place. It could have been another superstar. It could be in it. I don't care if it was just one NXT women. So that was the main thing. Now, next was Becky versus Doudrop. Now, from the start, this match had problems. Because of what you heard about the WrestleMania sign, to you had to live up to expectation from the Women's Rumble, which was the match before, which took over an hour. So that's one thing. It's just it was all right, but you kind of figured Becky was going to be on top anyway. Next is Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Now, this is the one where I felt more of like a WrestleMania style match than a Royal Rumble match. Now, this has been 20 years in the making. Um, and of course, they had their talks back and forth on Raw over the past few weeks of Brock Lesnar calling Bobby Lashley a Brock Lesnar wannabe to whatever. Now, the match itself was pretty good. The thing I did not see coming was Roman sliding in and hitting Brock Lesnar with the WWE title that Paul Heyman handed to him. So now it's going to be interesting to see what Paul Heyman has to say about that. Which means now Brock Lesnar is the new WWE champion. As of now, there's still not really who's going to challenge him, but that'll probably change. Next is the It couple versus the Grit couple. Now, I like the fact that instead of saving people 20 minutes with entrances, they just came out to Miz and Edge's music. Now, I love the fact that they were playing this off as Miz and Maurice just talking and talking and talking and backing themselves into a corner for the fight. So, yeah. I also like the fact they used, like, it looked like a small leather wallet to supposedly have a brick in. If that's true or not, I don't know. But honestly, though, I kind of wished Miz and Maurice won at day one, and this would have been Edge and Beth Phoenix's revenge. Now the last one, now the last match on the show is the men's Rumble match. Now, it started off decent with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Two people that have been all over the world, won countless titles in different promotions, and they had their feud a couple of years ago at WrestleMania 34. And then you started getting into the okay. So you had people like Austin Theory, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, and so many others. Now, the thing I did like that they did in this, though, but it's kind of like this with every men's Rumble, though, is how you had Omos, the towering giant, so you had the story of who can stop him and how. So I think it took like 6 people to knock him out of the ring. Now, my problem with this match is this. Besides the people that was announced for the show, you bait other than people like Drew McIntyre, Shane McMahon, and one or two others, and Brock Lesnar, there really wasn't many surprises with that show, or with that match. So I would have thought they had some NXT people, maybe someone. Now, the only person who really came back from injury in that match was Drew McIntyre, and he was only out a couple of weeks. So, was the main problem. It was basically an hour of people that we see every week. Um, Overall, I like the women's rumble the best out of the whole show. I also liked how with the women's rumble as well, they had some of the different views going on inside the match as well. So you had Nikki AHH versus Rhea Ripley, and then also like how Nikki AHH attacked Molly Holly. So and then you had Charlotte being her ego self. So overall, besides the men's rumble, it was a decent show for what it was and what they produced. Now, could have been better, absolutely, but um, it is what it is. The next show up on Peacock in a couple of weeks is the Elimination Chamber in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Um, so we'll start that build tonight on Raw. Um, so I now for that I'm not entirely sure if they're going to have a women's elimination chamber match or not. But we have to see. Overall, I am excited.